Hey guys, I'm boGa, that's boGa, and today I kinda wanna talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunner. Now, I wanna put this front and center. I absolutely fucking love the show. Now, if you've been living under a rock lately and somehow you don't know what Cyberpunk is, the world of Cyberpunk is a highly technologically advanced dystopian future, and the story of Cyberpunk sets in Night City, a mega region that's obsessed with body modifications, street cred, power, and pizzazz. Cyberpunk Edgerunner is a story about a kid named David Martinez who just tries to survive in this technological and body modification obsessed shithole called Night City. When his mother died, it's not a spoiler, that literally happens in the first few minutes of the show, he sets his foot out to find his true purpose, to be an edgerunner, to be a cyberpunk. Now, with my opinions with the show, as I said earlier, I absolutely loved it. I think CD Projekt Red really pulled the cyberpunk world from the grave here, from all of the issues in the first game. Studio Trigger also did a very good job with this, and I think it's one of their best, if not the best, works they've produced so far. The art style of the whole show really shows the vibrance of the city lights of Night City, which I just catch myself watching in awe whenever they show scenes of just Night City itself. The animation was superb on this one. The action scenes are so high octane and exhilarating, and the characters are so well written as well. Also, one thing that I really liked about the show is that they don't pull back on the gore on this one, which I absolutely love. It really gives character to the fight scenes, you know? We get to see some brain matter splatter everywhere when someone gets shot in the head with a shotgun shell, or like gutturals spewing out everywhere. It's just a hands-free gore that I absolutely adore with the show. The animation was flawless, the art was beautiful, the characters were so well written, and it's just an overall well-packaged show that I don't think they could have done it any better here. They totally knocked it out of the park on this one. But one thing that really enthralled me with the whole show is the music. The music was fucking perfect. I think that they perfectly captured the whole vibe of Night City on this one. You know, the fast rhythm, high cadence music that plays whenever there's a fight scene or a shootout happens. And the slow, soft, mellow synths that they use. And some ballads as well whenever there are slow moments in the show. I think that the music just encapsulates you into this whole trance state where you just stop, listen, and imagine. Because the music really transfers you to a whole different world. A cyberpunk world, I should say. They just hit the bullseye here with the music. I think it's absolutely perfect. Now, since I've already placed this show on a high pedestal, I should say that there are downsides. Of course, there are two downsides, in fact. And one thing that I found is that the pacing on the first few episodes was a bit fast. Some introductions were a little rushed. It was rushed to the point that I didn't really care about some deaths that happened with the show, mainly because they didn't really give me the time to get attached to them or just maybe form any sort of emotions with them, you know. I think that they could have stretched it out a bit more so that they could have elucidated more on the characters and the whole city. The whole package that they've tried to show in Cyberpunk Edgerunner was, in my opinion, a bit too much for 10 episodes. I think they could have gone for 12 here or even a 2-core with all of the content they could have packed with the show. But it wasn't really detrimental to the whole feel of it. I think it's still amazing, actually. I still think it's really good. I think it's amazing how they completed the whole package in just 10 episodes. I mean, we've known others who try to rush things, right? The second downside that I found with this show, and to be honest, absolutely fucking hate this show because of this, is that it left a gaping hole of emptiness in my heart because of how good it was. You know when you finish a show that's just so good that you just stare blankly at the credit scene as it rolls, rethinking how you'll recover from the emotional dump that they threw at you? That's literally me after watching the whole show. I need more. I crave more now that they've totally invested me into the whole universe of Cyberpunk. I need more content on this because I'm stuck between reality and fantasy on this one, bro. Not to mention the amount of Easter eggs on this one was just so good, because if you finish the game, I know that you get those eureka moments whenever you remember certain aspects of the game that's hidden between the dialogues and the scenes. There are places in the show as well that's accurate in the game, like You can literally play Cyberpunk right now and you can go to those places that they went to in this show. It just makes me want to play the game again, you know, fuck. There are cameos from characters in the game here as well that I just really appreciate because I just get that tingly feeling whenever I remember that one character, you know? It just gives me a sense of superiority above those who haven't played the game yet. Overall, I just can't stress this enough. I absolutely loved it. I think I said that 3 times at this point. But of course, a question rises. Should they do another season? In my opinion, yes. Please, make another season, please. Now you might be thinking, how could they continue off after that drop-off at the end? It seemed that it was the perfect time to actually cut the whole show because it was ended perfectly, in my opinion. Well, that's the thing. They don't have to, because what I really liked about this show is, even though technically David Martinez is the main protagonist of the show, it didn't really felt like Night City was revolving around him, unlike other shows. Since Night City is a living, breathing city, it almost makes sense that it shouldn't revolve around him because he's literally just another cyberpunk who made a name for himself. And this show is canon to the actual game, so the existence of Johnny Silverhand and possibly V, the main protagonist of the game, is also canon to the whole world of Edgerunner, meaning there's a lot of characters here that have interesting stories to tell, a fuck ton of stories to tell. So even if they'll make another one, they don't have to actually connect it to the first season. They could just make another story and maybe connect it to the first season in some way, but not directly. Maybe in the means of like Easter eggs or cameos and stuff like that. But even if they do make a direct continuation from the first season or not, I would still watch it just because I'm invested into the world of Cyberpunk now, that even when I just listen to their OSTs, I just get transported to their world in my head. It's crazy. Now, there's one thing I have to say to you guys as well, is that please give Cyberpunk 2077 a try. Even though there are a fuck ton of glitches still and a fuck ton of bugs, just turn a blind eye to it, you know? Just don't acknowledge its existence and just focus on the story. I think the story of Cyberpunk 2077 is amazing as well. It's also one of those types of games that would literally just make you feel empty after playing it, because it's really good in my opinion, and please consider playing it, even though there are lots of backlash from the amounts of inadequacies that they've had and the amount of claims that they didn't reach from the initial launch. I think you should play the game, and if you haven't watched the show and you watched this whole video, I think you should watch it now because it's fucking amazing. And yeah, I think that's all for me. If you guys agree with me, like this video. If you guys disagree with me, comment down below. Change my mind. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It's free. Also, hit the notification bell as well so that you'll get notified whenever I upload my next video. As for now, thanks for watching. See you next time.